Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, John, Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex. Before we get started, smash the like button, share with a friend. You got any questions, concerns, and whatnot? Got a few little want to talk about, something leave things in the comments, and we can rap and talk about it. What that tastes us, have a little fun with it, do a little shit talking with it. But all in all in good fun, man. And always remember, everybody, it's just a game. It's just football. It's just something we enjoy watching. First game, Jacksonville and New Orleans. I actually fell asleep on this because I thought it was going to be a blowout. End up being a good game. Carr takes him down there, and the tight end drops the ball. A game-winning touchdown, he drops the ball. All they had to do kick the field goal. I think they win 32-31, if I'm not mistaken. Football's a game of inches. It's a game of inches, and the mistakes, jump off sides and all that completely could turn the team upside down. Actually, you can be a 2-4 team. I've seen many years of watching football where teams are, say, 2-4, and they could easily have been 4-2, and in some cases they could have been 6-0. Just simple mistakes that mess everything up for them. Vegas and Chicago. I actually picked Vegas. I thought Vegas was going to run away with this. Instead, man, they had some, I don't know, I guess a second or third string quarterback came in there and played second string quarterback. They played some Division II school or wherever he might have played from. But the story was Deontay Foreman. Deontay Foreman had 2 rushing touchdowns as well as a passing touchdown and whatnot. Vegas looked out of sorts. Jimmy G wasn't that hurt again, which I kind of see why the 49ers was moving on from him. He's just starting to get hurt too much, way too much. And I kind of get it now and whatnot. But Deontay Foreman, I'm glad to see him doing his thing. I always thought he could actually play in this league, and he actually can if given the chance. It's good to see him hook 'em horns. Cleveland and Indianapolis. This was a good game. I actually watched the highlights of this not too long ago. This was a good game. Real good game. A little disappointed in Cleveland's defense after what they did against the 49ers. Because I honestly thought it could be 23-10 or something like that. That's kind of what I thought the game was going to be. Minshew showed some guts, throw for a ton of yards and whatnot, and everything. Make you think if Anthony Richardson was there, what could have happened. But Myles Garrett came off and whatnot and stuff like that. But I didn't expect for the game to go down to 39-38. But it was a barn burner. It was actually a really good game and whatnot. I picked that one. I just, like I said, thought it'd probably be like 23-10 or something like that. Buffalo and New England. Hey, man. Yeah. I seen Nick Wright, whatever that show he's on, and I think I follow him on Twitter. He says a lot of things, big Chief fan, but he says a lot of things that I've said before and whatnot. And Buffalo, or even with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Josh Allen is living off of that playoff game and all that, where the rules got changed and all that for the next year for 2022 season and whatnot. He's living off of that. Or 21-21 season or whatever it was. He's living up. That's his magnum opus thus far. The Bills don't get it together. The Bills might not make the playoffs because they're erratic. Like I said, this guy is erratic. He's a fine quarterback. He's a good quarterback, but he has to act like he has to do everything. Other people got to step up, but he's like, I think he threw an interception the first part of the game. The pressure's been on him since last year because technically they were supposed to win it last year. That was what all the pundits were saying. And, but they got, what's his name? Belichick, I think it's 300th win. So, Mac Jones looked decent for a change. So they won. That surprised me because I thought Buffalo would at least put a stump of mud hole in them and really play some fine football. But, didn't happen. New York and Washington, even though I almost picked Washington, something just told me to stick with New York. They won. They played some fine defense. Washington's cursed with the whole quarterback thing. I'm already convinced of that. That's their problem. That's going to be their problem until they find somebody that can really play quarterback and whatnot. How one day looks good, next day looks like garbage. I mean, it is what it is. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. I actually, if I'm not mistaken, I picked Atlanta on this one. Tampa Bay had a chance. They blew it. And Atlanta was giving the ball away enough times where no reason why Tampa Bay shouldn't have probably won this game. But it's just something about it. I just this is the thing. And not only that, this is going to be the year for old boy, the quarterback for Tampa. I remember that. I don't know why I can't remember the young man's name, but this is going to be his year for that Baker Mayfield. This is do or die for his career. This is do or die for his career, and in order for him to even be around, Tampa Bay has to make the playoffs. Other than that, he's going to be gone. But he has to do it. I thought maybe that'd be all right, but I just felt like Atlanta had a little bit more something with it and whatnot, and they showed that and whatnot. Desmond Ridder, like he can make some throws every now and then. He just has to learn to be consistent. Detroit and Baltimore, watched all that game. At this particular point, Baltimore plays like this, consistent with the way they can play like this. They beat anybody in the game. They run the ball and they throwing the ball. They're getting heated up. Lamar's looking good. He's running to prolong the play now. I don't mind if he runs, because if he runs, it's going to always be positive and whatnot. Because everybody's talking about, well, you're not running that much, so he's not taking all the hits and stuff like that. Remember, he got hurt in the pocket 2 years in a row. So let's put all the rest of that shit to bed about all that. You don't want to take no hits. I understand that. But don't act like he got hit running. He got hit in the pocket twice. Same way with having Randall Cunningham. He, like you said, I never got hurt running the ball. I got hurt staying in the pocket. They look good. Defense look good. Detroit, I thought Detroit turned the corner. And it's still, still a little early and whatnot. And that just might have been one of them things. They burned the film and get back to square one and whatnot. But Baltimore showed what was up. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a margin. They could have actually put 50 up on them if they wanted to. Pittsburgh and L.A., I think I picked Los Angeles. Thought they was going to do a little bit of something. They didn't do anything. Pittsburgh got it together. Some big throws by Pickett and whatnot. Guys making the catches and whatnot. And everything. Defense came alive and all that. Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from the Rams. You really don't know what you're going to get from the Rams at this particular point. But Pittsburgh came through and did what they did. Pittsburgh quietly staying in there and whatnot. They got to get their running game up to par. I want to see more from Najee Harris. All that talk about Najee Harris, man, I see some spurts, but I don't see a lot of it though. Arizona and Seattle, this game could have went either way. I did pick Seattle up on this one. Arizona, I just they hung around, but then all of a sudden, boys started getting sacked, fumbles, mistakes, and Seattle didn't play that good of a ball, but they played good enough to beat Arizona. Green Bay and Denver. I almost picked Green Bay, but I gave it to Denver. I said, "Oh boy, gonna teach him something and whatnot." 17-19 and whatnot. A little defensive thing going on there. Russell Wilson was solid. Did what he needed to do. They won the football game, and that's what it's all about, winning them games. Chargers in Kansas City, man. Mahomes did what Mahomes did. The only mistake Mahomes did was he hit that ball, that interception he threw, kind of fluttered a little bit. I think he might have wanted to go another way with it, but he kind of hung it up there high and whatnot. Like I say, again, all that talk about the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert and stuff like that, and crowning him and everything like that, they still stuck in the mud. Still stuck in the mud. And we'll see what happens coming up this week. Miami and Philly, pick Philly. This game was right there. It was, 24-17. Miami was driving to it through a costly interception and whatnot, and kind of just blew the game out of proportion at that time and whatnot. But like I said, two really good teams and whatnot. And Miami still has a chance to basically win that AFC East. I still say between them and the Jets, because like I said, I don't know what you don't know what you get from Buffalo. Have no idea. And then the shocker. This is Minnesota and San Francisco. To see Christian McCaffrey actually fumble the football, because that's something he doesn't do. And he fumbled the ball actually. Because it was deep in the Vikings territory, about ready to score, fumble. He had a little wheel route later on and stuff, got the touchdown and whatnot and stuff like that. But I'm like, they shut him down and say, okay, Purdy, you're going to have to beat us. It's up to you to beat us. And he ended up throwing two costly interceptions, especially that last one, in the game. He looked good the first half, but like I said, now I come to find out that my man's in concussion protocol. And he did take a wicked hit in the helmet. And whatnot. Trying to do a quarterback sneak, and now he's in concussion protocol. So we're going to see what happens. I told y'all, I said, Kyle Shanahan, he's cursed with quarterbacks. and what he's going to do or what type of quarterback he needs to have and whatnot. So we'll see what ends up happening with this cat, man, and whatnot. But we'll see. But Purdy, when it was like, okay, people say, well, Deebo Samuels wasn't there, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, I really don't want to hear that, because if anybody really follows football, but nobody wants to say it because they like him and all these other things, Deebo Samuels is a walking mass unit. Go look at his stats. I showed this last year. Look at that. He missed a ton of games last year. His magnum opus was in 2021. He had a nice rookie season, hurt his sophomore season or his second season and whatnot, came out in 2021, hurt in 2022, and then he's missing another game. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, it is what it is. Dude's a hell of a talent. He gets it going. He's going to have to stay healthy. He's going to have to do that. Ayuk was catching all them balls in the first half. Second half, no balls. He was, 5 for 56. Different game. Minnesota started getting after him. Kirk Cousins looked superb. But that's the thing with Kirk Cousins. He'll do that. He'll lay an egg next week. So that's what I'm expecting from him. So that's what's going on there. Now let's go ahead and get ready for these picks for tomorrow and get ready for tomorrow's game and whatnot. What we got working with here? Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Well, I would go Buffalo. I'm going to go Buffalo. As much as I really don't care for Buffalo, I'm going to go Buffalo, though. I'm going to just go ahead and go Buffalo. Houston and Carolina, I'm taking Houston. That's an easy one. LA and Dallas, I'm taking Dallas. Minnesota, Green Bay. You know what? I'm taking Green Bay. I always have a couple of wild cards. I'm taking Green Bay. Jordan Love might come off. Minnesota's going to be running high. They won their third game and whatnot. And I just see a letdown with old boy. But we'll see what happens there. New Orleans and Indianapolis. I'm going to take New Orleans. New England and Miami. I see Miami putting them about 35 plus up on them jokers. Being mad, I think they should be able to do that against New England. Jets and Giants. Hey, man, that's a toss-up, man. That's really a toss-up. Just because of the quarterback play. You had a decent quarterback. I'm taking the Jets. But I'm going to go the Jets. That would be an easy pick, but because of, I don't know. I'm going to take the Jets. Jacksonville and Pitt. I'm going to take Pitt. I'm going to take Pitt on that one. Atlanta and Tennessee. Hey, dude, this might be Mike Vrabel's last rodeo. You know what? I'm going to take Tennessee. Philly and Washington, I'm taking Philly. Cleveland and Seattle. I think Deshaun Watson's out. People are talking shit about him. I'm just like, then the concussion. It's just a lot of stuff going on with the young man right now. You hate to see it because all this money that's invested, but that's not the issue. The man wants to play. He was taken out the game. Franchise quarterback and all that kind of stuff. If that defense comes to play, Cleveland should win this game. I think if the defense comes to play, but it's like Cleveland don't have that offense in play right now. They don't have that offense in play, so it's like that's the whole science with that. So I'm gonna give the edge to Seattle. Baltimore and Arizona. Baltimore to wipe the floor. They ought to put up 50 points on them. If they just stay focused, they should be able to put 40 plus up on them and have their starters on the bench in the second half. Kansas City, Denver, KC, all day. Or whatnot, all day. Cincinnati and San Francisco. And this should be a Jim Dandy because I can't stand either one of these teams. But because the guy's in protocol, so I don't know what's going to go on. If he's in protocol, that means he's not going to play. So who they're going to have the quarter? I'm taking Cincinnati, Chicago, and the LA Chargers. Boy ain't playing. LA Chargers has to win this game. They have to win. They don't win this game, they're not going to the playoffs. So I'm gonna go and give it to them. I'm gonna go and give it to LA Chargers. But back to the whole San Francisco thing. And Brock Purdy and 49ers, fine defense, good defense. But this whole thing with Purdy and what end up showing you, because oh my God, because evidently a quarterback guru or it used to be a coach, Coach Aikman and Purdy and all them guys and stuff like that. Look here, all jokes aside, like I always say this, it's not so much against the guy and whatever, anything like that. But these are the games where you shut people up and say, no, I am not a system quarterback. All quarterbacks are system quarterbacks because there's a system that they play in, right? The ones that take it to the next level is they can go out of the system, and no matter who you put in there, they are going to perform. They're going to take their game to the next level, and you can jump on their back and say, I'm going to take us to the promised land. Or wherever we go, I'm going to take us to a W. And I don't think that young man has that. I say that young man is probably, is at best Jimmy G 2.0. That's what I said. And so we'll see what happens with that whole situation there, man. But I don't know. It's hard to pick. If he's playing, I probably pick them to win against Cincinnati because you don't know who you're going to get with Cincinnati. However, at the same time, he's in concussion protocol. So that's normally you're going to miss a week of football. So that same thing had to happen with Deshaun Watson. He has to miss a week of football. He wanted to go back in. Back in the day, you go back in and play. But took him out and all this other kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens with all the health situation. And also, more confirmation on what I was talking about. I wish I could play the film of it or the clip of it. But it was while Michael Irvin was talking about wide receivers of today versus the time when he played. And the difference was, and he said, we had burners, we had big guys, we had this, that, and the other. He said the game is completely different. And that's what I was saying. The intimidation factor is out the game. These guys don't have to worry about getting hit. And if they get hit, there's a prize of a 15-yard penalty. And the guy going to probably get fined. And he might end up getting kicked out the game. And he might miss some games. You see what I'm saying? Like he said, they made a decision. The guys that you said had speed. There's plenty of speed guys back in the day. Big guys and whatnot. The decision that they made was like, I ain't trying to catch that ball. Am I going to catch it and take that hit? They thinking about it. And Michael Irvin broke that down masterfully on about that. Therein lies the difference. These guys can tiptoe through the tulips. They could throw a running back at a wide receiver and have them do it. They can't do nothing. And that's what I said. You have the wide receivers call themselves trying to intimidating the secondary guys because they know about the penalty and they talk shit and they do all this other stuff. If they played another era, that'd be different. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. You was at them guys' mercy. And you had to be a tough SOB to play that position because you was going to get rocked. And y'all look up that particular piece, but we'll see what happens though, man. But like I say though, man, but be ready for the game tomorrow and whatnot. And that was my picks and whatnot. And like I tell you guys all the time, there is no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time is still going on. And like I say all the time, numbers don't lie and get emotional. Like I say, they don't get emotional. People do. You guys have a good one.